What's going on? Dustin Howes here, spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. And we're here for another session of Affiliate Nerd Out. I've got my old buddy George Yuhba over here. He is going to be nerding out with me, talking affiliate, talking old time CJ stuff. And we've got some old stories and we've got some conversations about coupon and loyalty sites. So if you have any questions for me and George here, give it to us. Put it in the chat. Drop it in. Gio and I will discuss it, and we'd love the interaction. So, without further ado, Gio, come on in. Tell me about who you are.
That is a question that has never been answered before.
Oh,
Yeah, so, hi everybody. I am Gio. George Yuba is the full name, but everybody knows me as Gio, like Cher, like Madonna. And if you're young enough to not know who those two people are, that's how old I am. So I just want to say that I've been in the industry for over 20 years. Majority of the time at our lovely friends over at CJ, where Dustin and I started our illustrious careers in affiliate. And I'm currently now at a publisher named Paylode.
fantastic. And let's talk about our CJ years. I want to hear your side of the story first, but how do you remember do you remember the first time you met me?
I would imagine so. I don't, and the reason why is because I was always the stop on the tour from HR
Okay.
when people would walk around all the new employees. I was like a tourist attraction.
Ah,
So I would meet tons of people. So I don't necessarily remember exactly how I met you, but I made an impression.
yeah, absolutely. So I think I met you at like a company event because Sarah was working at the company already. I went to a company event. I met some people, including you, but I don't remember that part of it. But what I do remember is I told you that I was playing poker for a living, like previous to that, right?
Yeah.
And then I applied for a job under you at CJ, and you came to that interview wearing a poker ring, and you really made an impression on me. Like I didn't get that job, but you came to that interview with a trinket that would relate to me, even though you probably don't play poker or you didn't play poker or anything. You brought that, and that just like highlighted the kind of person you are and the kind of thought that you put into partnerships and everything you do professionally, and that always stuck with me. I love that about you.
Wow. Now that you say that, I kind of remember that now. That's from my dad. So my dad's the poker player
Okay.
in the family. Also my uncle, and they win tournaments, and they taught me everything I don't know. When it comes to gambling, I'm a bingo fan myself. But one of the things that I try to pride myself on is uh, being a listener. And so it's kind of funny. It's one of those things where if I did remember that you were a poker player, that I would come to the table like that.
Yeah.
It was all those years ago, and I'm really old. But I kind of remember that interview and being prepared for it. And I guess it was that ring. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny, Dustin.
Yeah. And I didn't get the job. I don't know who you hired, but that was 14 years ago. But what I do remember also is I emailed you afterwards thanking you. And when I didn't get the job, I'm like, hey, what I do wrong, Gio? Tell me. And you gave me great feedback. You took the time. And the next job I interviewed for at CG, I got it because you did help me out. So I appreciate that, and that goes a long way. And I don't know if you're like me, but I remember things about people, and I don't forget those kinds of happy stories that happen. So anyway, thanks for helping me get my start here in this industry, man.
Oh, absolutely, Dustin. You've been incredible to work with all these years.
Yeah, we had some good times at CJ, and one of those things at CJ is once I got my job in compliance, um, I wasn't a huge fan of you or your department, and and I don't know if you knew that or not, uh, or if that was public knowledge, but like we had differing opinions because I'm on the compliance side taking money away from publishers, and you were out there fighting for the publishers to keep their commissions and their money. And it was a constant battle of you and I having emails of like, why are you taking this from my publishers?
It's funny. I always said the publisher development department is part lawyer, part agent.
Hmm.
You have to protect your client, but you also have to promote them. And so,
Yeah.
if you're a lawyer, you're going to, headbutt against other lawyers that are against on opposite sides of the table from you. So, I, my days of working with network quality has definitely been fun. It brought out great conversations.
Hmm.
We changed policies to really help other affiliates, help the advertisers, help CJ, help the brands. We evolved network quality in real time based on those discussions. And it really did solidify, I think, CJ as someone who understood network quality, but also understood that there was chances to uh, make changes, positive or negative, really, for clients if it made sense from an industry and a CJ perspective. So I appreciated all those discussions. I know some of them were adversarial in nature, but all good discussions came, you know, with a solid end result.
Yeah, and I feel like me being so young in my career, I was completely one-sided and couldn't see beyond what we were doing on my side. I still had that military mind frame from being in the Marines years prior, and it wasn't until years later when I actually got on the publication side that I started to understand your point of view, and that's when we became much more friendly. I would say, like we were always friendly at CJ on a personal basis, but when it came to like professional stuff, I was like, man, George's killing me over here. But it's weird how the perspective changes throughout your career and as you get older. And yes, we had some great conversations over there. And you spent what 15 years over at CJ on the publisher side?
Yeah, just shy of 15 out of my 19. Before I was on the advertiser side as well as the client support side as well.
Awesome. Um, and that kind of led you into where you are now. Once you left CJ, you must have had a huge Rolodex of publications that you were working with, and you made the natural jump to go and work for one or multiple, right?
Yeah, it was one of those situations where um, I had the opportunity to try something different, something new. As you can imagine, 19 years. I mean, I still love what I did at CJ. To this day, they are still using tools that I built and that I evangelized, and it's very humbling
Yeah.
to see that, and I'll always take it with me wherever I go. But now I'm a client of CJ's on the publisher side, and I always said the publisher side is the best side, but it really is because ultimately you're discussing and you're talking business with the brands, with the opportunities, and you have a chance to make those connections. And yes, I do have a large LinkedIn connection because I try to connect with as many people as I meet in the past. But what that really comes down to is that people trust me and trust my decisions in what I do. And I never take that for granted.
Beautifully said, and couldn't agree. I'm not going to argue with you. Being on the publisher side seems like the best route in this, and like you got all the uh you have all the cards essentially. You've got aces in your sleeve because everybody wants to come and work with you once you get to a big certain point. on the publisher side, and you've got all the negotiation cards. So that's also a huge benefit. And, well, that's great that your history took you where you are. I'm going to use that to segment into our sponsor today, and that is publisher discovery. And when it comes to finding publishers out there, this is one of my go-to tools in the industry right now. You can easily use this tool to find great publishers in your niche and vertical based on keywords. Give it a good look. DustinHouse.com/PD if you want to help out my channel here and what I'm doing. That would be appreciated. So getting back to the topic, what are you doing now, George? Tell me about where you are.
Yeah, I'm at a awesome startup called Paylode, Lode. That's right, as you see it there on the screen. Paylode is an awesome opportunity. At CJ, I was able to manage some of the perk affiliates out
Mm-hmm.
in the industry, and when Paylode came to me as an opportunity, I found it to be unique in a pool of publishers that everybody kind of knew, right? So people knew employee perks, or maybe people like some of the platforms that give miles back or cash back to members of a club or something like that. And what was interesting about Payload is the uniqueness of the perk centers. So they weren't targeting employee perks necessarily.
Okay.
They were working with companies who want to show perks to their members, to their users. Some of the first clients at Payload were actually real estate companies, to apartment complexes that want to give perks to their residents. And it's real estate and insurance are some of our top clients right now that we provide the perk centers for their residents, for their policyholders, for their members. We've progressed beyond real estate. We power the perk centers for travel companies, for people in pet care, health and wellness companies, fintech companies. So it's great to be part of a growing industry
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like perks. And then on top of that, um, what makes Payload unique and I thought was cool was that each perk center owner could essentially build their own perk center. So we
Hmm.
have a marketplace of perks, and each of our perk centers could use all of them, some of them. They can create separate perk centers that focus on specific topics. And just recently, we launched Payload Local, which gives our clients a chance to not only promote national brands, but also perks from stores that are literally down the street
Hmm.
from their users or their residents.
Hmm. Are they geo targeting?
They
Is
are
that
geo fabulous.
it?
Yeah, so right now we're in the US and Canada. Local right now is just in the US market, but essentially we can actually handle any geo. We can handle language conversions for our clients.
Hmm.
So if somebody had some perk centers that they want to target Latin American market, we
Good.
actually have language conversion to make offers into Spanish, for instance. Or if you're in Canada, we can make offers into French. So, really, some great tech behind the platform.
Good.
And the fact that it's not just employee perks. And in theory, most companies they have more users than they do employees.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to get in front of more eyeballs is also another reason why I thought Payload was a great next step in my career.
Gotcha. And so, is it turning companies, giving them another revenue model to become a publisher? Is that kind of the model?
I mean, that's one of the benefits, I guess, from having a perk center
Yeah.
is we do go into uh, an agreement with these perk center owners that they
Hmm.
receive credit for the transactions they do provide, but making money off of these secondary commissions or whatnot, that's not why most clients actually come to us.
Yeah.
Most clients come to us for engagement touch points. They want a renewal of a lease. They want people to upgrade from, let's say, a free version
Okay.
to a paid version. Well, why should somebody upgrade from a freemium to a premium? Well, they get access to a perk center that gives them deals and
Smart.
discounts. So we also work with clients that want touch points like booking flows. So if somebody books a policy from an insurance company on the thank you page, hey, there's 3 or 4 perks right away to say thank you, and here is some perks that are available to you. If it's a home policy, great. We could show some of our offers that are around home renovation or home improvement, home decor, as
Hmm.
it kind of fits that model.
Okay. Okay. And then with that, what kind of partnerships are you really looking for in terms of where you guys are, like the type of merchants or publishers that you're working with?
Absolutely. So, like I said, our clients are, we have everything from real estate companies,
Hmm.
both commercial and residential, travel companies, communities. We have a community of arts and crafters that we power their perk center for. Because we have such a wide variety of clients that we power the perk centers for,
Hmm.
we actually are looking for any merchant that
Okay.
wants to get in. We do have some limitations. We don't work with adult. We don't work with um, uh,
Casino,
we
CBD.
so CBD we do work with.
Okay.
There's not a ton of offers there, but we do work with some CBD offers. It's really firearms and the adult stuff
Okay.
that we kind of curtail. Um, we want to provide the opportunity to have a vast array of offers to our clients because essentially, like I said, they build their own perk center. So we want to make sure that we have great offers in all categories. But what has converted well for us? Definitely subscription services.
Ooh.
Believe it or not, new customer acquisition. When companies give us new first user coupons, that does really well with our
Okay.
users. And I think it's because we're tapping into a different market that is not seen by other traditional affiliates out there.
Sure. And that's going to help with churn too for companies in that subscription model is, hey, you want to continue to have access to this perk center, you've got to continue your subscription. So that's it's a smart strategy there.
Yeah. So secondarily is the money they could make, but realistically, it's around the touch points, it's around the engagement points, and it's a way to really speak to their users in a meaningful and specific ways. Dog owners, here's some dog offers, that type of a thing. So, I personally work with all our clients to make sure they're aware of all the different offers that we're loading, different ways that they can communicate with their users, whether it's email, SMS marketing, putting up a QR code in the elevator at the apartment complex, reminding people that there's a perk center. There's all these great initiatives. So, in addition to working with our current clients, I also try to speak to as many brands as possible to give us the offers to present to our clients. So, definitely if there are brands that are listening or reviewing this on playback or whatnot. We work with both sides of the equation. We actually have several clients that are both a brand with an offer in our marketplace, but also pay us to help power their perk center for their members. So it's a great communication vehicle on both sides.
It sounds like you guys are pretty flexible with the folks you're working with, and that sounds like a pretty cool initiative that you're doing. And one thing that caught my attention is when I was talking to you about a client I had a while back. You brought up that you guys have some kind of military student discount center as well that really piqued my interest. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So, starting at the beginning of this year, I actually realized a need to have a focus for student and military. There are Some of our clients have military customers, and some of our real estate companies actually target student housing. So why not provide a listing of military and student discounts? And traditionally for our national offers, we need an exclusive offer, a semi-exclusive, or
Hmm.
affiliate exclusive offer to even get in the perk center. The great thing about the military and the student discounts, those are already discounts. So I don't need anything extra. So if an affiliate program has a student discount or a military discount offer, I can get them up and running in our platform without the need to negotiate some type of other national offer for non-student or non-military. And it's a great time because one of our clients just talked to me this week about really focusing in on that military market. They're actually changing their messaging around um, helping military families. So it's definitely a great time to look at some of those side categories like military and student with us as well.
Beautiful. Okay. Gotcha. Um, Now, you've been a big fan of, well, switching gears here a little bit. I've never had a conversation where we didn't get to argue about the value of coupon and loyalty sites. So I want to jump into that as I know you love to talk about this subject. And from my side of the point, I my viewpoint was tainted from day one, right? I got into compliance and I saw all of these coupon and loyalty sites that had conversion rates that were way too high, that are out there trademark bidding or stealing clicks, and I had to go out there and slap their hands or take money from them, and I got burned internally. And I had it in my mind from that day forward that when I'm going to run a relationship with partners, I'm going to keep coupon and loyalty sites out of the equation. And that's how I build my programs. And eventually, gradually, I became a little bit more open to it and started allowing some trusted partners into that category. But few and far between that I would really naturally trust. But my whole point is, coupon loyalty sites, a large majority of them in the past have been standing in front of the cash register, just handing out coupons to anybody that's already going to go check out. And then they're stealing that last click. And that kills my relationship with the other publications that I'm working with, the content publishers that we really want with that top of funnel stuff. What's your counteract to that position? I want to hear your side of things.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of things that can be said on this, and I have said a lot of things in the past on this subject. Ultimately, what it comes down to is what do the users want and what does the brand need? Um, there are brands out there that'll say no coupon, no nothing, but then work with a partner who provides coupon on the click out to
Mm-hmm.
save the session, or they offer an email CRM division that'll give a coupon to people who left the cart. I don't see what the difference between the two is. The other, it's two sides of the same coin. It's like flipping a coin and both of them saying heads. There's no tails in this situation. Ultimately, the user either needs or wants a offer
Mm-hmm.
to complete the purchase flow. This goes back all the way to 2007, 2008 with the initial major financial crisis.
Okay.
And you would turn on Good Morning America or any of those morning news shows, and they would literally tell their viewers, go to Google, type in brand plus the word coupons. Don't click on the brand because they don't want you to use a coupon
Mm-hmm.
because we're in a recession. Go to these other sites, and they would literally name them,
Yeah.
and then say, then because you need to go to a third party trusted partner that will let you know if those are the best deals or not available on the site. And we really saw a resurgence, actually, not even a resurgence, an actual surgence, because coupon deal sites did okay, cashback sites did all right. But it was that initial recession that in most of our lifetimes in 2007 through 2010, that really kind of saw that increase of the usage of either search engines
Mhm.
or email from loyalty partners or coupon partners. And of course, we had a lot of stories with a lot of brands. Like, well, why should we do them? You know, we're a luxury retailer. Yeah, we have a free shipping offer, but that's not a coupon. Okay, it doesn't have to be a coupon. There, we could promote free shipping. We could promote a buy one get one, gift with purchase. You know, these are all facets of the coupon market. Most people think, oh, just a percentage off or a dollar off coupon. No, a lot of these sites could actually get very creative on how they presented offers to their members. And one of the funniest things I would say, and you may have heard it at one point or another on the calls, is if you were a store, let's say Prada, you don't really discount that often. You might have a little 10% off section in the back or have a little outlet division.
Mhm.
But if you were in the same shopping center as a Target, which has coupons, which has full discount and clearance sections, if you were at the mall looking at a shopping mall directory, you as Prada, would you tell the mall owner, you know what, actually remove me from that directory
Mhm.
because I don't want to be listed on the same shopping center directory as a Target because they're discounted?
Okay.
Okay, well, no difference. Most people use coupon deal and loyalty sites as a shopping search engine. It's actually a directory. Now, how they get traffic to that directory, same thing as a traditional mall, radio, TV, search engine, TikTok, whatever the case may be. So the publishers in this industry, our industry uses key tactics that other departments internally at a brand uses to drive traffic to their site, which their in turn drives traffic to the brand. So
Okay.
that's how I view it. Is it's all based on that user. If the user wanted that browser extension to remind them to get cash back, if they wanted to double check that a certain coupon site had a better discount than the direct site themselves, that's all based on the user. So if the brand really thinks about it from the user perspective, then it becomes a different conversation, because ultimately it's like, oh, well, we want more influencers,
Yeah.
or we want more content sites. Almost every single content site now has a coupon tab, right? Almost every single email from a content site features a coupon.
Yeah.
And you
And
look at influencers, the top rated influencers in terms of conversion, not branding, always have use code influencer 10 to get
sure.
10%. So why is it okay for an influencer to have a coupon, but not an actual couponer?
Well, I'm happy to answer that. That's a closing coupon. That's like I'm introducing you to this brand. I believe in it. Now I want to put you over that fence. Here's this closing coupon. I'm all on board with that. And I think there's a gigantic difference between what you were talking about. And you had some excellent points. Of course, if you are using this in the appropriate way, which a lot of coupon and loyalty sites are these days because they have to. But back in that heyday, that wild west of like 2008 ish to like 2012, there was just some madness going on with that gave coupon and loyalty sites a bad name, and they are trying to get back from that reputation, right? Now, agree to disagree on a lot of these factors, right? What do you think is fair? Do you think coupon sites, loyalty sites should be paid the same exact commission as content publications?
I think so. I
Okay.
think because the content publications also have to drive traffic to their site just like coupon deals do.
Okay.
Like loyalty publishers, there's loyalty publishers with commercials on TV. That costs money.
Mm-hmm.
just like it
Fair.
does a content site doing TikTok ads. So I think there's what you could really look at is the strategy behind coupon and loyalty sites. So even if you have a brand that's maybe um, not really that invested or is questioning the validity of it, having the concept of testing is really important because ultimately, if you say, "Oh, the sky is green and I believe it's green," people see it's blue. So just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. So all coupon sites, all loyalty sites are less valuable
Sure.
to me as a brand.
They shouldn't be all bucketed. Agreed.
Right. So prove it. So take a look at it. Have a program that pays on new versus existing.
Okay.
Maybe you pay the same, but you could look at the difference between how many new customers versus how many existing customers a coupon or a loyalty site gives.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could adjust commissions accordingly. If the coupon site or the cashback site has email or a robust social media, they can drive traffic that doesn't necessarily rely on the brand's name to drive the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving traffic through their own communication vehicles. So, yeah, if there's a new coupon site that doesn't have an email list or doesn't have a big social media following, okay, maybe you hold off on those until they get a little bigger. But the bigger sites have their own audiences. And yeah, of course, a portion of it will be shared,
Mm-hmm.
but by finding the right, I would say, strategy behind the opportunity, especially with like giving new customer coupon codes or first time use codes, that's a great way to really kind of enhance the strategy behind working with a partner. And so that's kind of why perk centers like me ultimately decide too that we find users that don't traditionally go through other means,
Okay.
right? If I'm sitting in my apartment and I have my app open and I go to my perks tab to find maybe some like I need new towels or new sheets, right? So that's different than going to Google or going to one of their trusted cashback sites because there's an inherent need or an opportunity to get in front of that consumer. So perk affiliates, I think, are a little bit different from traditional coupon and loyalty sites as well. And I think you really have to either work for one like I do
Mm-hmm.
or really partner closely with one to understand that there is major differences than working with a standard coupon deal site that just features 100,000, merchants and 2 million coupon codes kind of a thing.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, I've got a couple of theories here. Like you brought out some great points. Yes, I have put myself in the shoes of a coupon site and a publication that are utilizing like the tactics you're talking about in the right and the wrong ways. I've worked for both of them, right? But my theory it goes back to an old mentor of mine, Greg Hoffman, came up with this concept of let's pay coupon sites 2% and loyalty sites 4%, and then content sites 10 or 8%, whatever it may be. And that's for your traditional e-commerce product, right? And the theory behind that is, we're not playing the big publication, and whoever gets that last click is the winner. We're going to deal with that, but the money we save in that realm of if we give 2% away, we saved 6%. Let's put that into reclaimed budget for the marketing team, and that's an interesting strategy. That's one way to go about it. Another strategy to go about it is uh, share sale. You call it leapfrog technology. Impact calls it something else, where if that last click happens in the last 5 minutes of the transaction, and it didn't come because that coupon or loyalty site was doing something that brought a new player in. They just brought somebody that was searching for the coupon. I don't want to pay them. Let's leapfrog it back to the previous click. That's another way to go about it. And then I have a third way. An old buddy, Rob Schaub, created this. If you have two affiliate networks, put all your content sites on one network, all your coupon sites on the other, and just accept that you get both clicks and you pay out two affiliates in a transaction. And that's a very unique way about it. I've done that a couple of times and had success. Kind of like it. What do you think about those theories, Sarah Drew?
I think there's other ways you can look at it too. I like if you're going to do the two um, network concept, what I would actually do is put all your browser extension publishers, for instance,
Mm.
in a network that really has a network quality department.
All
And there's
right.
only a
Smart.
couple that really look at those sites as something where we need to keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they always, I mean, you know that certain browser extensions work differently on some networks
Yep.
than others. So if you move the browser extension publishers to a network that actually looks at network quality
Mm-hmm.
from the browser extension perspective, and then you have another network for your non-browser extension or whatnot, you might be able to do something like that. But then at that point, why have two? Why not just run everything on the network that actually has the network quality? It's because
Sure.
I've seen multiple network programs also, the creatives are off, the communication is off. It's not the same across the networks. Commissions are off. It's not run properly. It's very hard to run one program on multiple networks. You've done it. You understand that
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of match those opportunities. So going back to some of those other things with like the 2.6, the 2.4.8 concept with the commissioning,
Yeah.
starting with that, I guess that is something that I've seen a lot of brands do. I'm personally okay with the concept. Um, but ultimately, if a publisher that's a coupon deal or loyalty publisher drives the type of traffic and the opportunity that the brand is looking for, then they shouldn't be paying them just 2%. If it is valuable traffic and it's traffic that's not coming from other opportunities that they manage, they should bump up that coupon deal site or that loyalty site to a much higher commission, because it is that traffic that they are looking for. Just kind of relegating everybody to 2% really doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help the publisher. It really doesn't help the brand, because you could have publishers that are like, look, we're not going to promote you for less than 5%, because that's what the average category commission is. But what if by that you're not doing the brand a service if you're not at least testing out the opportunity at that 5% minimum? So that's something, again, looking at different strategies. The leapfrogging thing I find annoying. And
Yeah.
and the reason why is we don't do cashback at Paylode,
Okay.
but I've worked with a lot of cashback publishers in the past. Can you imagine, sit yourself as a cashback publisher in that opportunity? How do you tell one of your users that because they were browsing online, they're not going to get 4% cashback. They're going to get a 0.25% cashback because they clicked on two other ads in the stream. As a user, you'd be like, well, what? This makes no sense. You told me it was 4% cashback. Who gets hurt in that? It's really not the publisher that gets hurt in that. Ultimately, it's the brand. Because guess what? That user's not going to buy from that brand anymore because they didn't give them the full cashback. There's a loyalty partner that actually removed a brand because they were having issues with them
Hmm.
like that. And the brand actually called them back about 3 months later and said, add us, please add us back.
Hmm.
Because those users, they knew who those users were. They never came back through any other channel. They never
Huh.
made any other purchase. The moment they turned them back on with a significantly higher commission, I might say, to do
I
it,
bet. I
guess what
bet.
happened? All those users came back to that store.
Hmm.
So again, the leapfrogging thing may work. I'm not sold on it. Also, have you ever seen the reporting from the publisher side on those types of programs? You literally need to have a PhD in analytics. Like, no network has really kind of given that has that opportunity, has
Yeah.
really made reports that were digestible by a salesperson or
Yeah.
a relationship manager. It
Agreed.
is ridiculous.
Agreed. I have a buddy, Scott Wanamaker. Um, at Attribute, I want to say. He's got a really unique tool that can tell you what you should be paying out each publisher and what they're really worth to you. He has some really dynamic back end analytics that the affiliate networks will not give you, but he does really good reports. Check him out. I'll drop a link in the chat. Gio, I put your link in the chat as well. So how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, best thing to do, you can connect with me on LinkedIn in the chat window, or you could always just email me at geo@paylode, again, LODE, .com. And I'd be happy to chat with anyone that either wants to get their offer up into the Paylode marketplace for our clients, or if any companies out there want to become a Paylode client and create a perk center for their members. I'm happy to talk with you on both sides.
Excellent. Great. Let me drop this link from Scott and who he is real quick in the chat so that we have it so people can go check out. I am not affiliated with Scott by any means, but I know he is doing some really cool stuff over there at Attribute. And with that, as we wrap up, if you want to hear more about my strategies and what I'm doing, come and join the performance marketing manager community where I give affiliate management training, just like the theories we're talking about today and how to run an effective affiliate program. Come check it out and learn more. Thank you for joining me today, Gio. If you would like to join me on Affiliate Nerd Out, go to dustinhouse.com/nerd and submit your application. I've got a killer lineup for the next 2 months because I've been asking all my old friends from this industry to come and join me. And next week, we're going to have Laura Press and we're going to from impact.com. We're going to be nerding out about the education of affiliate management in this industry. And very excited to talk to her about that. Gio, thanks, man. Really appreciate you being here and good hanging out with you as always, man.
Thank you again, Dustin.
All right. That's it for me, folks. Take care. Good luck hunting your affiliates, and we'll see you out there.